Hello. Hopefully this is working. I am fiddling around right now to see if it's popping up on my page so I can read the comments at the same time. Maybe turn myself down. There we go. Well, hi, I'm the cat toy lady, if you didn't already know that. I am doing this live cat toy. We are going to be doing a kitty cat joint. It crinkles. Not sure if you can hear that. It has catnip stuffed inside. End of it's all nice and green. Let's see. I was raised by a hippie. What can I say? So let's get this started. I am also, just so you know, going to do a question and answer. I've had a lot of questions submitted over the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to address them of whether certain toys work or they don't, how things are holding up, and just some different things. So I have my list in front of me of the questions that people have submitted. You're welcome to ask any live ones that you want, or even after the fact. Hit me up, ask a question in the comments. I will be glad to answer. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can share this. I don't know if I can. Just some of my social media. I am doing this as a one-man show today. If you didn't know, my husband and I usually work in a team. He has a YouTube channel too, Exploring with the Nug, if you like adventure stuff and underwater diving in weird places. And he is currently diving, so instead of him being able to help me today, he is doing his thing and I am doing mine. So bear with me as I try to get everything set up and moved and going here. All right, so back to the questions so I can see any in the live chat. And hello, Miss Linda Cole. And I am going to try to answer anything that's in the chat room as we go along. So I just wanted to jump straight into the toy. It is not one to do with your kids, of course. It is for adults as kind of a joke, a gag. Don't take it seriously, folks. It's not worth it. But your cat will love it. It's a catnip toy that crinkles, and it has that nice felt, which gives it that like meatiness of biting into an animal. So, you know, it works. And then it crinkles like a bone cracking. What can I say? But it is stupid easy to use, or to make. Even if you are partaking in something like this, you could do it. Trust me, I've been at festivals where I had to teach drunk adults how to make cat toys. It can be done. I have to start with, just so you can see my supplies, I have 2 different colors of felt. It's like 49 cents at the craft store. It's really cheap and you can make a ton of them. Then I have cellophane. This is the cellophane that you can get, again, at the dollar store. You know, I like the dollar store. Comes in a big roll for $1. I have just the clear. You can use any color you want. This is the stuff that heat shrinks, so you can use it for gift baskets and things like that. And then catnip. I got my big jug of catnip. This one I got at the grocery store. Get catnip anywhere. And then you can either use 2 paper straws or 2 craft sticks, depending on what you have available, just to kind of help you with stuffing everything. So to get started, I made myself a little trash bowl. Take your beige cream colored felt, and we are going to be cutting, let me grab, got little cheat sheet notebooks everywhere. Ooh, lots of people joining us. I see some Chinese or Japanese. I can't read it. It's been a while. I took Japanese for 4 years back in high school and college. Can't read it. Can't read kanjis that way though. And let's see. So yeah, let's get this started. So what we're going to do is you're going to take again that cream colored felt and you're going to do a 2-inch by 5-inch section that you're going to cut off. You can eyeball it. It's nothing that has to be exact. The straighter the line, the better. If you do want to write on your felt to be able to mark it, use the side of a pencil and just twirl it in the spot that you're aiming for. So you can see there's my 2 inches. And I want to mark my 2-inch, just give it a twirl in that spot and it leaves a dark mark. You can kind of see here. So I'm just going to eyeball it because that's how I am. So let's see, I am going for 5 inches, I said. So I'm just gonna hold this up here, make sure everyone can see what I'm doing. And right there is 5 inches. So cut straight across on your 5. And then go over about 2 full inches and go up. That's all you need. And you can adjust this if you want like a kick toy for your cat. You can make it the full 12 inches that the felt is. I think it's 12, 10, 12. If you want smaller, be careful, just because you don't want anything that can be swallowed. If you have dogs around especially, you don't want to make anything smaller than this. And by the way, some dogs do like catnip too. My husky is a catnip junkie. All right. And I am using my low temp glue gun. I use it in basically every video. I have it on low temp just so it doesn't burn me, but it's a dual temp, so I can do hot or low temp glue. You know, if all you have is hot glue, use hot glue. Just be really careful, give it a second to cool. That way you don't melt your fingertips. And I will show you what I'm doing. Because hot glue does have a tendency of kind of having a messy end to it, make sure you clean it off when you're dealing with felt. If not, it's not a good working environment for your fingertips. Okay, so just run a bead of glue all the way down and stop. Give it just a second to cool off. You don't want to fry your little fingers. Fold it over directly on top of itself. So all the way down, making that long rectangle. And then just press it together. It really is like making a joint. Not that I would know. I was raised by a hippie. No. If you see here, mine's a little uneven. Don't worry about that. We're going to even it up at the end. No biggie. So give it a second. All right. Let it cool completely. You don't want to try to do this next step with it still warm. If not, it'll just fall apart. So I'm going to talk to you for a second while I fan it, let it cool. Let's see, one of the questions I get all the time, why do you use foam board and not cardboard? Frankly, it's because I can get the foam board at the dollar store. Big sheets of cardboard are not easy to get. For some reason, they're more expensive. And I tried, because my next project that you will be seeing is going to be gigantic. It's the biggest thing I've ever made. Even that 4-foot cat wheel won't have anything on this. I tried to order 4-foot by 4-foot cardboard sheets, 5 of them. And I was like, oh, I'll just go pick them up at the store because you can have it direct sent to the store. Usually that's quicker. It'll take at least 2 weeks with everything going on before you can pick it up. That's not how we roll around here. I make a video that week. I edit it, I put it out. Then I do it again. I don't just sit on things. This next one is actually for my daughter, something that she's asking for. So I couldn't sit and wait and have all my ideas going. My brain just doesn't handle that well. Let me make sure my live stream is up to date here. That way I'm getting all the comments. Okay. So yeah, cardboard, not so easy to get a hold of. Unless you're doing something like an Amazon box. But I use a lot bigger pieces of cardboard than that. Or foam board. And yes, foam board, someone wrote me and was like, oh my god, that can kill a cat. Well, yeah, it's like any toy. If you let them eat it, they're gonna get sick. So watch your pet. If you know the type that will eat something, watch them around a cat toy. No toy should technically be left alone with a pet. It can be dangerous. That's cat, dog, ferret, you name it. Who of us really do that? Not many. But yeah, if you know your cat's going to eat the foam, don't use foam board. Go the extra step and use cardboard. That's simple. Not that hard. Okay. So, we are going to flip this inside out. What we are going to do is, for me, I like using the part that's already glued and kind of just tuck it down. Oh, so you can see, tuck it right in. And then I'm going to use one of the sticks, or you can use the straw, and I just shove it in. And I start using it, let's see if you can get this angle, to be able to tuck it inside out and start just shoving it in reverse. Sometimes it works perfectly, like when I was practicing this. Right now it's not, so it's just going to take a little bit of sweet talking. Of course, I'm trying to turn at a funky angle, so I'm sure that doesn't help. But you can see, oh, there we go. So it's inside out. Now you just roll the rest of this down and slide this out. So that's the start of our joint. The trick to this next part working easily is you want to make sure that the seam, the glue has been kind of stretched in that area. So I'm taking my scissors and I'm just running them inside just to kind of make everything completely inside out from where it was and no funny little spots in it. So there we go. Nice and stretched out. Next step. Take your glue and you're going to put glue directly inside. I'd probably say a green pea amount is what I'm going to put inside. And not on the very tip. I'm going to go down about 1/4 of an inch. Again, remember I wiped off the tip of my glue. That way it wouldn't, or my glue gun, that way it wouldn't get funky. So if you can kind of see in there. And then what we're going to do is you're going to use all your fingers at once and pinch the end. And you are going to pinch everything together and almost kind of squish it, just like that. Making, kind of eyeballing that it's even, and then you let it cool. And see, I'm not worrying about the very tip. I'm going to trim that off in just a second. So let this part just harden up, and then take your junk scissors. Don't use your fabric scissors, not a good idea. And go ahead and just trim any of the fluffiness off. So there's the end of your joint. All right. Now for the fun part. We are going to take the crinkle cellophane and cut a strip off. You're not going to be able to see me cut this so easily. It's clear. So don't worry about that. Just do it at home the way I say. Measure how long your piece is. from the end of your glue, so about right here, to the end of your joint. So about right there. Don't go to the very, very tip, and then stop. Right. Let's see. We'll say, if you can see that, 3 1/4. That's what we're going to go with. So cut your cellophane about a 4-inch piece by 3 1/4. I'm just going to do that off camera because you won't be able to see anyways. Sorry. I'm in a little bit of a smart aleck mood today, if you couldn't tell. I mean, it kind of goes along with making a joint. You can't take things too seriously. I mean, what would be the fun in that? So I am trimming my piece. All right. Then this is where the 2 sticks or 2 straws comes into place, depending on what you have. I like the sticks just because they're a little bit more rigid. You're going to take that plastic, let's see if I can do this where you can see, and you're going to wrap it around these 2 pieces and just twirl it up. Try to get it as tight as you can. If it's not too tight, it's okay, because you can just keep almost rolling the pieces back and or together, and it will actually tighten up the cellophane. So what I do is I slide the sticks back just slightly, and then I'm going to stick them inside here. To get started, I might not have them slid back so far. I made this one a little snugger than I did my other ones. All right. And I was also practicing with the straws, and I have not used the wooden sticks. There we go. So you just feed it on, and then you're going to pinch the cellophane that's in the bottom and slide this out. So slide it all the way up and then all the way out, just like that. What the straws did was give you a little, for this one, it's almost like a cup, if you can see this divot, for you to be able to fill it in with the catnip. When I was practicing this, I did it a few times just so I could see the different ways. Some of the time it stayed completely puffed open, and it gave you almost a tunnel to be able to stuff the catnip into, like a big straw. This time it's giving you just a little U shape, and you're just going to use that to shove the catnip in. So what we do is we open it up, and be careful, some catnips have a lot of stem. This catnip that I bought does have a lot of stems, so don't give yourself a splinter, don't hurt yourself. So I'm just gonna kind of mush it up with my fingers, pull out any of the hard pieces that might poke a cat through the toy. Slide this over. And then, let's see. I didn't think this part through, so you could see the best. So I'm just gonna, oh yeah, just like that. Okay, so you pick up the pieces, and then you just feed them down like a little slide, and then find something to stuff with. You can use the stick if you want that you already used to be able to put the cellophane in, or you can just, I have this little screwdriver, and just start packing away. You can put as much or as little of the catnip as you want inside. My experience is that cats like a lot of catnip. Catnip does, after some time, kind of go bad or lose its potency is really what it is, not that it goes bad. And there's a trick to it. You can put it in the microwave for just 5 seconds. That's all it takes, as long as it's a toy that doesn't have metal in it. And just zap it in the microwave. Catnip, what actually has that cat attractant is an oil. So by microwaving it, you're bringing the oil back out to the surface, and it kind of makes the toy come back alive. Typically that only works about one time. maybe 2, and then your toy's just kind of dead. You can put it in a baggie of catnip and kind of re-infuse it. So that does also work. You can try other cat attractants besides this. There's Silvervine. I love the company From the Field. They are really good, and they import catnip, and I think they have the wild honeysuckle root, which is also a cat attractant. Basically, their business is cat attractants. So look them up, From the Field. I don't work with them whatsoever. I just love the company. Valerian root, something that you could work with. So you can do this with more than just catnip. And catnip, only about 50% of cats are attracted to. So if your cat doesn't like catnip at all, try Silvervine, try Valerian root. There's so many different cat attractants out there that you need to give a chance. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my straw, just kind of really wet it down there. It didn't want to go all the way down to the bottom. So I made more room. Yay! I want to pack this bad boy. My mom would be so proud right now. Like I said, she was a hippie. Okay. Alrighty, now that it's completely stuffed and packed and full, what I'm going to do is, see how a little bit of the plastic's still sticking up? I'm going to slide my fabric down just a little and trim off the top. And then slide this back on top and squish it right back down in there. Then your green felt, you're going to cut a piece off of. That's about, what did I do? 1/2 inch by 3.5 inches, 4 inches. So again, I eyeball a lot when it comes to things. I'll say about that much. Oh, wasn't there a strange thing with the Silvervine? You have to be careful of what companies you order the Silvervine through. Silvervine sticks really have like a very minute amount of Silvervine in them. By the way, like 79% of cats are attracted to Silvervine, so more than catnip. It just doesn't grow in the US, so most people aren't familiar with it. The part that you have to look for that actually has the true cat attractant in it is what they call the fruit gall. They're little bubbles that happen on the vine. Long story of a midge lays an egg on the vine, it makes a bubble. In Chinese herbal medicine, they throw that bad boy out. But that's the part that has all the cat attractant. For some reason, that midge and the vine combined together, it just drives cats nuts. And there's 7 cat attractants in it versus catnip's 1. So it works. And it's a different type of buzz for a cat. It's more like a kitty cat ecstasy. Like, to me, catnip's like a cat getting drunk, where they're party, and then afterwards they're a little calmer. They get a little wild first and then calm. This is just the calm side, and they love to rub things on their face. Again, the ecstasy part. So be careful what you get. Those dental sticks that you can also get of Silvervine, if your cat is attracted to that stick, it's rare. Most cats can't pick up the minute amount of Silvervine that's in them, or the cat attractant. So definitely find the gall, and you want to find it in a powder form. And be careful what companies you get it from, because I happen to know that someone got a bad batch of it in the cat world that was all moldy and wet when it arrived from China, and they still used it and ground it up. not caring that they were giving mold to cats. So be very careful. That's why I'm specific about the From the Field. That's the brand I prefer. And so yeah, that's the strange things about Silvervine. This next step, you can do little V's out, like little wedges out. You can do little humps. Basically, we are just going to give texture to one side of our green. Nothing, you know, it doesn't have to be a perfect wave. It can be very random. That will help give it a more unique look. And let's see. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my glue just a little bit. Just basically what's sitting on my tip. I'm going to put it on here and I'm going to start rolling this as it sticks to my fingers. Okay, so that's why I did just a little bit to get it started. Now, here, clean this off a little better. Don't burn yourselves. I'm going to do a little bit more. So I'm going to go about halfway down. And I'm going to start rolling it up again. And just twist and roll. If any glue sticks out, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about trying to clean it up. And then I'm going to do that last spot again. And I'm going to roll it up too. And if you notice I have glue on my fingers, I have no feeling in my fingertips. So it doesn't hurt me. All right, so you can see it's a weird little, am I getting it in close here? Weird little lump. This is going to be what fills in as an end cap, so your catnip doesn't fall out. All right, so clean up any of the catnip that's loose on the edge, just so you don't get your glue all too yucky. I'm gonna pack it down with my stick. I'm packing it down, but once everything's glued together, I'll be able to kind of squish and manipulate it and it'll fill back up. So, we are now going to fill in along the edge all the way around, making sure to get on the other side of the little flap that's in here. You wanna get around it and all in here. So basically glue on all of it. And then you're gonna take the flat end and stick it inside your kitty cat joint. And don't worry if it's uneven, if something looks off, we're gonna fix that. So I'm just gonna hold it kind of firm, but rounding it out and let it cool. And I'm gonna start manipulating things a little. That way they stretch back to where they're supposed to be and look more like a joint instead of lumpy bumpy. I have catnip all over my toes. I'm in flip-flops and they're just speckled. Okay, so let this harden and cool for a minute and I'm gonna answer another question. Oh, so I get a lot. My foam cat tree. Yes, my cats are still using it, and I don't think people understand how big my cat is. She is 17.5 pounds. She looks like Andre the Giant sitting next to the rest of my cats. She is gigantic. She's about 1.5 years, almost 2 years old now, full of energy. She is a monster of a cat, and she's not obese. She's a little fluffy. I mean, she's like her mama. But she's just a big cat, big boned. And she will tear running up this cat tree and down, throw herself off the top. And the cat tree is yet to tip. It has yet to crack, won't be able to take the weight of a cat. I show when I'm making the video how to reinforce. It's not just one piece of foam board. any part that the cat's going to be sitting on is 2 layers thick. Everything, I feel, was put together very strongly. To be honest, on the second layer, my 5-year-old has sat on it. Didn't do any damage. It didn't dent it. It actually supported my 5-year-old who's 50 pounds. So, and take that to you people that doubt the strength of foam board. So no, I don't worry about it falling over on my cats. It's yet to happen. It's been 3 months, 4 months, something like that, since I've made it, and it's doing well. So, back onto our joint now that it is hardened. What I'm going to do is just go through, see where, like, we have this little piece that sticks up. I'm just going to trim and make everything even. So anything along the edge that just, you know, is uneven, doesn't look right, I don't like the looks, go through and trim off. Voila! And I kind of feel my nub on the ends just a little too long, to be realistic. Not that I would know. I live in a state where it's not legal, by the way. That's why I say that. But I have traveled a lot. That's my excuse. So there we go. We have a catnip joint. Here, let's see if I can. Ooh. And the end of it's sealed. Nothing's going to be coming out. And believe it or not, because I've made similar toys to this, cats like chewing on the hard ends. They kind of get back in there with their teeth. So they like this. It kind of scrubs, brushes their teeth as they bite into it. It crinkles. It's going to drive your cat nuts. I do suggest maybe making a jumbo one. You know, one that Cheech and Chong would be proud of. Some Snoop Dogg. And make it a kick toy. I say go for it. Again, that will take more catnip. But, you know, this doesn't hold a whole lot of catnip, but a kick toy would. So there we go. And fingers crossed, I think I'm going to send a few of these to my favorite comedian and see if his kitty cat likes it. Just on a whim after watching one of his podcasts. Let's see. So SA said, okay, I tuned in a bit late. You're really making a joint? Yes, I am making a catnip joint. Or I did make a catnip joint. A little larger just than a regular one. Unless you saw my mother in Amsterdam. And, but this is this size, that way you don't have to worry about them swallowing it. Keep it away from any large dogs. So now that the joint is done, your cat can go and enjoy its getting happily numb. I'm going to answer a few more of the questions that have been submitted. I kind of hit on this one. What if my cat doesn't like catnip? I do have a video on the top 5 cat attractants. Check it out. I know it's not a toy video, but you know, it's needed. My cats, besides growing cat grass, which is really needed for cats, I go on and on about that one. Again, I'm a vet tech, so there's health benefits to it. Grow it fresh. Don't get that stale stuff that they sell in the pet store. Just saying. Yeah, there's lots of different cat attractants. There's honeysuckle, or wild Canadian honeysuckle wood. It's like a root slab thing. Cats love it. It can be chipped up or given to them as a big chunk. They love that. There's different types of lemongrass and lemon balms are cat attractants. Catnip, of course, this is the alternative. You can't grow silvervine yourself because it only grows in high altitudes of China and Japan and takes a fly that lives there. So don't try that one. But yeah, you can make this with other things, or don't even put the catnip in it and just make it a crinkle toy. What else do we have? Oh, your toys won't work my cat's too fat for that stuff. Again, I have a fat cat. She's 17 and a half pounds. She's testing it out, I promise. For those of you, because there's been a couple of you that said, I need to talk less. Not doing it. I explain as I go along for the different levels of crafting. Some people pick up on things really quickly. Other people do not. They need things really explained. You know who you are. And that is why I put so much detail into my videos and show you what I'm doing. It's so for every level it can be done. All right. And, oh, my cat would tear that up. Well, maybe let them tear it up. They're having fun. People think that cats need to just kind of sit around and be lazy, but that's really not good for them. In the vet community, we're seeing a lot of kind of the kitty cat Alzheimer's, a dementia, and it's from being too sedentary. They need their brains to move. And if killing a toy and destroying it is waking their brains up, go for it. Give them a roll of toilet paper, for God's sakes. Go to the dollar store. Get them a roll of toilet paper or paper towels so they can do that little rabbit kick. Let them kill something every once in a while. It's going to make your cat happy. So don't be afraid if they destroy a toy. Just watch them while they're doing it and make sure they're not eating pieces of it. That's simple. What else? I feel like I'm on some rants right now. Essay is my my sister-in-law. Yes, she has a really cute kitty cat named Dot, who I like to spoil, along with my own cats. I love spreading the spoilage. That didn't come out right now, did it? Speaking of sharing, if you're wondering about the last cat wheel that I did, which I have to say was incredible, the blue plaid cat wheel, it worked really, really well here. I did test it out with my cats. I had to get their fat butts up with a piece of chicken and hold the chicken up to make them walk in the wheel, but it does work. It didn't tip over. It wasn't wobbly. But what I decided to do, because you know, I kind of collect a lot of cat toys, and I've started donating them. Like if you saw my little turbo tower, ball tower, that's been donated. Catnip balls, lots of different things. Some of these catnip joints that I've made are being donated. I did donate the wheel to my favorite rescue, which is Purr Nation, P-U-R-R, Nation Cat Alliance. They are great. Run completely differently than what I've seen some of the other cat rescues. I highly applaud the way they do things. They do not keep pets in a central location. They use things like PetSmart, stuff like that, to adopt out, or online registries, home visits. But one of the main ladies that started it, who is a registered vet tech that I worked with at a cat hospital, she is going to take it home, the wheel home, for her fosters to try out. And they're going to pass it around to the different fosters and see how well it holds up, how long it holds up, and if it truly does work and at more than just walking speed with my cats. So they're going to test it out for me. That way I can tell you exactly how it's working. So as soon as it makes it to the foster's house, hopefully I can get some video and let you guys know. It being 4 feet wide, it fit in my minivan. I tried to put it in her car. Yeah, her little car. There was no way of fitting this big wheel inside her car. So it may be a little while till it makes it to her house. So bear with me until that video comes out. All right, so I think that hits the main things of what people have been asking me or telling me recently. Thank you for all the comments from different people and the questions. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm asking too many questions. No, you're not. I love it. I honestly do. If you couldn't tell, I like to talk. Whether it be in text form, which might not always have the best grammar, or like this. So thank you all for, I've been getting just so many nice comments recently. I went through a little patch where there are a lot of mean comments, like more than I've seen on other people's channels, I think. I have some haters coming after me with that first wheel. But thank you all for the very nice comments. I really do appreciate it. And if you didn't read the sign, go make your cat some toys, and I will see y'all on another day. Bye.